Well, I just left Kathy and Maggie at the Appalachian Trail Conservancy headquarters. I'm here in Harper's Ferry. I am walking a blue blaze trail from the AT headquarters to the trail. The adventure begins. This time I'm heading north. Next time I'm in Harper's Ferry, I'll be heading south. Goodbye, Harper's Ferry. Hiking along the Potomac on a very nice former tow path for a canal. The abandoned canals on that side, as you can see, is quite popular with cyclists, hikers, walkers, you name it. I'm a little over a mile from where I'm going to stop for the day, the Ed Garvey shelter. Whether I stay in the shelter or pitch my tent nearby, I'll decide when I get there. This part of the trail is very nice and cruisy. Much of the day has been generally going uphill from Harper's Ferry. But this is a nice stretch of trail. I'm not doing a lot of miles today for a couple of reasons. Number one, Kathy dropped me off and I started hiking at around noon. And for the first couple of weeks, I plan on doing no more than 8 to 10 miles a day. Some days maybe a little less, some days maybe a little more. Basically to build up my trail legs, even though I won't have real trail legs until I have a couple hundred miles under my belt. But nonetheless, if you go out too hard, do too many miles, that's a recipe for injury. And unlike my previous section hikes, where I basically told Kathy, I'm going to be home by such and such a date. In this case, while I don't have an endless amount of time, I do have a very wide window. So take it easy, take it slow for the first couple weeks, build up your miles, and hopefully have a successful hike. A little visitor to our shelter area.
Who is it?
It's a deer.
Oh, really?
Good morning. Had a nice evening at the Ed Garvey shelter. A lot of people there. Two other flip-floppers who started in Harper's Ferry, so we're heading in the same direction. A couple of thru hikers that began in Georgia, young people, so that's why they're here at this stage of the hike. They're going to be passing me, I have no doubt whatsoever. And some section hikers, so it was a pretty good crowd. It's going to be a warm day today, but day 2 awaits. So I was just passed by a young man who was at the shelter last night, a thru hiker who started in Georgia, trail name appropriately Lyric. This is for you, Jim Rezak, if you're watching this. He had with him a miniature guitar, looked like a cigar box guitar, kind of like the one that you made. And so he played a little music last night, which was a very pleasant way to end the day. But I was thinking of you and your music as he was playing. So just wanted to mention that. Happy trails. This has been pretty representative of the trail so far today. It's still very early. There have been ups and downs. There have been occasional rocky patches, but nothing too bad. I do know that there are some rock scrambles, at least one significant rock scramble coming up before I leave Maryland. I don't think that's going to happen today. I think it's going to be tomorrow. But nonetheless, gotta enjoy it while you can. This is very pleasant hiking. All right, I'm climbing out of Gathland State Park. Pretty neat place. Named after George A. Townsend, who was a Delawarean. His nickname was Gath. And what's interesting about the site is not only did he build a mansion there, but he was a Civil War correspondent. And he built a memorial arch for war correspondents on both sides of the war. Now, you may hear me huffing and puffing as I'm climbing. But while I took a little break at the park, there was a young man who basically just stopped to get water and continued on his way. He's attempting the 4-state challenge. Now, what the 4-state challenge is, try to hit 4 states in one day. It starts in Virginia, just before you cross over to Harper's Ferry, which is West Virginia. Then you cross the Potomac to Maryland, go through all of Maryland, and cross into Pennsylvania. And it's about, I think, something like 42 miles in a 24-hour time period. Definitely something for younger legs than mine. A little bit of trail beauty. My guess is that this is going to be today's view. This is the Dahlgren Backpacker Campground. As you can see, men's and ladies' rooms. There are showers, toilets, not something you normally see on the trail. And then that is the camping area there with tent sites. I don't know if you can make out the bare poles that you hang your food up on. But yes, this is a very, very nice campground. You don't see a lot of them. Oh, you can also charge your phone or power bank or what have you in the bathroom, so that's great too. Thus ends day 2. You might be able to tell that I am in my tent, not in a shelter tonight. I'm staying at the Dahlgren's Backpackers Campground. A very nice facility. And yesterday and today, well, actually more today, I've been hiking with a couple other people orange slice, and unicorn. And we're going to be taking a 0 on Friday. So, looking forward to that. See you tomorrow. So I just left the hikers campground. Very nice. And I'm kind of hiking with 2 other hikers, Unicorn and Orange Slice. How long that will last, I don't know, because I do tend to hike faster than either of them. Unicorn tends to be slower. He tends to start later too, and these 2 days got into where we ended up camping last. But while it lasts, is pleasant to have conversation at the end of the day. And we're also planning a short day today, short day tomorrow. Orange Slice needs to resupply. Actually, she needs to resupply today, but she said she can make her food spread out. And by that time, I know I will need a resupply, and probably Unicorn too. So, not exactly a tramily. For those of you that are unfamiliar, that is a trail family. That tends to happen after there's a few hundred miles, or at least a couple hundred miles on the trail, and you get a group of people that are hiking at roughly the same pace. This is only day 3, but nonetheless, as I said, it's pleasant to have a nice conversation at the end of the day. And so this day begins. I'm at the top, or close to it, of South Mountain. The area that I've been hiking on for the past couple days is all involved in what would culminate in the Battle of Antietam. So this area is very, very rich in Civil War history. The Washington Monument. Not the one that you're used to seeing, but the one in Maryland. An incredible view from the Washington Monument to the valley below. Apparently this high point was used by Union soldiers to signal to the troops below during the Battle of Antietam. So this is part of my light day of hiking. That's an uphill stretch that I just came from, and I'm heading upward. You might catch a little glimpse of orange at the top. That is Orange Slice. And me, I'm taking a break. I've got my bottom firmly planted on a nice boulder. So, rock bottom it is. If you're wondering where I get my water, this is an excellent example of what's known as a piped spring, which I will put that water into my knock 2-liter bag, take it back to camp, and run it through my Sawyer filter and have my drinking water. If only all water sources were this good. The view from Annapolis Rocks. Amazing. So I'm sure you can hear that. It is raining. I am in my tent. I try usually to be in a shelter if I know it's going to rain, but that didn't work out this time. The people that I'm hiking with, we have plans for tomorrow and taking a zero on Friday. So in terms of trying to plot things out, the place we're staying, actually Orange Slice and I got here fairly early, and Unicorn as of 7 o'clock. I'm not sure that he's here. I hope he is, and I hope he's got his tent up. Anyway, I'm hunkered down in my tent. Tomorrow is going to be a 10-ish mile day, and then that will give us a shorter day on Thursday going into a hostel, and we're going to take a zero on Friday. We need to resupply, and every once in a while you do have to take a rest from the trail as much as you're enjoying it. So here I am, a very nice tent, keeping me dry. Good night, everybody. Good morning. Nice cool morning after last night's rain. Hopefully it'll stay cool during the day. At least maybe in the 70s, not into the 80s as it was. Let me show you my campsite. This is where I stayed last night. This is part of the Annapolis Rocks camping area. You can see the change in coloration when my rain fly was zipped down, the area that stayed dry and the area that got very wet last night. But it was a good night. All right, heading out of camp a little after 7:30. Let's see what the day brings. Yep, this is this section of the trail. Step carefully, try not to turn an ankle. Just a lunch stop. I don't know who left this painted rock along the trail, but I think that's pretty cool. This is Little Antietam Creek. I don't know where Big Antietam Creek is. When the water is high, this is a dangerous crossing. You can imagine the water going a significant way up the trail. And when that's the case, you have to take a bypass. But in this case, I'm going to be rock hopping over to the other side. This is also where I'm going to get my water for my camp tonight, which is another 0.8 miles away. I'm taking a little break because I have just climbed 200 feet in 0.2 of a mile. Now, in a month or so, that elevation gain will be a walk in the park. But for now, I'm pretty tired. My guess is that water eventually tumbles down to the Little Antietam Creek. Good morning. Had a fun night at the Raven Rock shelter last night. In addition to Orange Slice and Unicorn, we were joined by Phoenix Rose, Zen Zealot, Evergreen, and Liam. Liam does not have a trail name yet. But we had a good time, shared some laughs. It's funny. One of the things I like about hiking is the solitude. And I have stayed in shelters, or certainly stayed in a tenting area by myself many times. But it's also fun to share some laughs with people after a hard day of hiking. There were also a group of 5 that basically stayed by themselves. They were obviously together. I don't know whether they were just, doing a section or what have you, but it was clear that they were together. So it was a pretty full area at Raven Rock. Anyway, back on trail, the day begins. Going to be a short one today. Well, relatively short. About 6 miles or so. And then tomorrow is a 0 because I need to resupply. See you later. Should I or shouldn't I? Well, today's an early day, so might as well take the little detour. Hopefully it's a good vista. No littering. Well, apparently that doesn't mean graffiti. Still, very colorful. If my memory serves, this is also a takeoff point for hang gliders, which seems very appropriate. So I was hiking with my head down so I didn't trip over the rocks. When I looked up, and I saw these. Gotta remember, take the time to see the beauty. At beautiful Penmar Park, border between Pennsylvania and Maryland. I was here a couple years ago. They had music playing over there, and there were food trucks. No food trucks today, but that's okay because I'm taking a 0 tomorrow. All right, this is the 0 Day Stay Hostel. Great place. Did a bit of resupply here. I'm going to be recharging my stuff here. The room that Orange Slice, Unicorn, and myself will be staying in. And the shower that I will soon be taking advantage of. And where my dirty, stinky hiking clothes will get laundered. So what do you do on a 0 day? This morning, Orange Slice, Unicorn, and I got a shuttle ride from the hostel owner, Hoodie, to Walmart, where we bought our resupply items, food for the next few upcoming days, and some snacks, things that we think we will like to eat on the trail, because you never really know what you're going to have a taste for. Then we came back to the hostel, and we basically took it out of its original packaging and made it more hiker-friendly packaging to put into our food bags. Unicorn left to put a few more miles in today. Orange Slice and I are taking the full zero to let our bodies recover from the rigors of the trail, and we'll get back on the trail tomorrow. Now, it is supposed to rain for the next few days. Pretty steady rain tomorrow and Sunday, and then a high chance of rain for the next few days afterwards. Well, if you're going to do the AT, you've got to take the rainy days with the sunny days, otherwise you're never going to complete a thru hike. But because I'm taking a full zero, after all my town chores were done, now I'm here relaxing in this beautiful, beautiful park. Not all hostels are located a couple blocks away from a park like this, but it's nice that this one is. So I can sit here, enjoy the view, let my body recover a little bit, and then back on the trail tomorrow. This is part of hiking too. Taking that 0 day, making sure you keep your body healthy so that you complete the long journey. It's a cliche saying, but hiking the AT, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Got to stay healthy to do it. Good morning. Heading through Penmar Park to pick up the trail again after a great zero at the 0 day stay hostel. Thank you, Hoodie, who runs it. It is the Ritz-Carlton of hostels. It was amazing, a great stay. For any future hikers who want to stay at the border of Pennsylvania and Maryland. But the day begins. One state down, 13 more to go. So, Unicorn left the hostel yesterday. He did not do a full zero. Orange Slice and I did. Orange Slice took off about an hour before I did. And I left about the same time that another hiker who came in last night, I did not do a full zero, that brunette. We took off about together. And we stayed basically the same hiking pace until the first uphill. And, you know, young legs, I knew she was going to take off ahead of me. But it is all good. Cardinal rule number one of hiking is hike your own hike. Now, I'm probably going to jinx myself, but I expected it to be raining now. It has rained, and you can hear the drops coming down through the leaves. But it is a pleasantly cool 51 degrees. This is perfect temperature for hiking. And if the rain holds off a little bit, hey, so much the better. It's a good day on the trail. So I'm stopped in a shelter, and I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining pretty steadily. It's not like it's torrential rain, but it's a very steady rain. So my morning luck was actually pretty good, because it just started raining shortly before I got to the shelter, taking a little break. And the next shelter is just under 4 miles up trail. And the next one after that is 10 miles. So the likelihood is that it's going to be a fairly short day, get to the next shelter, and try to stay dry and warm.